Buy-to-let investing and property is really exciting, and there's a lot of people doing it at the moment. But are you struggling on what to know on the best way to hold your investments? Follow my video and let's explain more. If you haven't yet, click the bell and subscribe to be notified every time we produce our best pieces of content. Property's hot. I mean, it's really hot. There's a lot of people excited about it, and there's some decent money being made in this industry. But are you wondering whether to this way on how to structure? Follow my video and I'll give you the basics to help you with your decision. You can hold property in various different ways. You can hold them personally, you can hold them in a partnership, and you can hold them in a limited company. Now, if you hold your properties personally, it's easy. You can hold them jointly with whoever you want, whether that's a business partner or a significant other, or you can hold them individually as yourself. If you're holding them, everything's quite simple. The income comes in, it goes on your self-assessment, there's no complications. What you own is yours. And the same goes if you have an investor or a significant partner who's investing in it too. Now, that would normally be set up as a partnership. So the money's split evenly. So a partnership is literally just two individuals that are investing jointly into property or a property portfolio. This is taxed in the same way, again, on your self-assessments. It's slightly more complicated because you've got 3 tax returns to do instead of 1, but it makes it simple. It's all in your name. Now, in a limited company, you can set up a limited company that specifically invests in property. Neat. It's owned by the limited company, although you can have various shareholders, which could be you individually, a partner, investor, whoever you decide. Now, what's the benefits and the pluses for each one? Now, I said originally, holding it individually or in a partnership is a lot more simple. You've got a lot less paperwork than you have through running a limited company, and the money goes on your self-assessment. Now, recently they've changed the way that you get tax relief on interest. You now get a 20% tax credit rather than getting full relief. This only affects you if you're a higher rate taxpayer. Now, currently, if you're earning more than £50,000 a year, this will affect you. If not, it will not matter one bit. Now, as a limited company, you're taxed on profits at 19%. Well, if you're a higher rate taxpayer, that's excellent, because a higher rate taxpayer will pay 40 or above, and the company's paying 19. So one of the attractiveness at the minute on the current tax legislation is to hold your property within a limited company. Now, be mindful, when you're taking money out of a limited company, you have to take it out either via salary, dividends or pension. Please have a look at my video on how I talk about extracting money out of a company efficiently. The downsides of a limited company is it's more work. There's more reporting that you have to do and legal legislation that you have to follow. It's a bit of a pain. I also find when you're going for mortgages as a limited company, they're that little bit more expensive. And that's on interest rate, as well as the administration of buying it. So your solicitor fees will be more expensive when you're purchasing the property. And this is one thing that really annoys me, is the independent legal advice. Now, as an ACCA Chartered Certified Accountant, if I don't know what a personal guarantee is, I need shooting. But every time I purchase a property through a limited company, I have to get that same set of advice. Now, it gives me no advice because I know the answer already. It's just to protect the mortgage company in case they are defaulted. Now, I believe if you borrow money, you should have every intention to pay it back. But why should I need the advice 20 times when I heard it the first time and I already knew it in the first place? This can be extra fees that are added to your purchase cost when you buy it. Some people can pay independent legal advice of £500, so please include that within your calculation. Now, another thing to consider when you're structuring your property portfolio is what is the end goal? How many properties are you going to buy? Are you going to buy streets? Are you going to buy towns, cities? Or are you going to get a couple? Live off that income comfortably, and how much other income do you have if they're added together? It's a real key consideration because a limited company for you could be overkill if you're only holding a few. So when you're holding a property, make sure you've got your end goal in mind. And it doesn't have to be exact, it's just a guide. But that will make sure that you're not unwinding decisions later on in the future. Because when you transfer properties, whether it's a limited company or you're transferring it personally, that will normally incur a capital gain and trigger a tax bill. And also it will trigger stamp duty. Ugh. So stamp duty as well, when you're buying buy-to-let properties, has an additional 3% under the current tax rates. That's something to really bear in mind. So when you're setting up your property portfolio, the best idea is to get it right initially. Now don't beat yourself up either. When I first started investing in property, the best place to hold it was in a limited company. The current government, there was no tax on profits for £10,000, so little Michael went straight away and went, I'm going to be a limited company for my properties that I'm going to buy. Then it went through a regime where it was best to hold properties personally. So future properties that I bought were held in a partnership between me and Mrs. Hemme. Now it's back to being a limited company. So while you are making the best decisions that you can under the current legislation, it changes. So do the best that you can do at the current time, but don't shoot yourself if things change, because that is completely out of your control. I personally have had a wonderful journey with property. I find it really exciting. I find it really interesting. Love the industry. But if I can help, because this is a real minefield, and having the best advice always gives you that extra leg up, I'll put my Calendly link below. This will allow you to book in a discovery call with me so I can take on board any questions that you can, help you on that call, and maybe even long term. And yes, I promise there'll be no pushy sales pitch.